Bonjour mes gourmands. Cupcakes, how could I ever resist them, each one of them representing a handful of joy. Playful, sophisticated and elegant, cupcakes come in a lot of styles suitable for any occasion you can think of. And today we'll be making simple vanilla cranberry cupcakes with a heavenly light frosting. For 12 muffins we'll need 175 grams of butter, 3 grams of sugar, 3 eggs, a package of vanilla sugar which is optional, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 240 grams of all-purpose flour, 175 ml of milk, and 100 grams of dried cranberries. For the frosting we'll need 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 package of vanilla sugar, both are optional, 200 ml of cream, and a package of whipped cream stabilizer, which apparently is also called Whippet in Canada. Now because of the butter, the cake is actually quite fragrant by itself, so my mom usually doesn't add anything to the dough. I however think the vanilla sugar gives it another slight flavor boost. If you're like me and you like to alter recipes, then keep in mind that the caster and vanilla sugar are absolutely optional for the frosting. The cream will stiffen up just fine without it. Unless I have an overwhelmingly sweet cake as a base, I usually like to add those ingredients as they definitely add that zing to the plain old whipped cream. And speaking of whipped cream, here in Germany we're using powder whipped cream stabilizer to make sure the whipped cream stays stiff like forever. I heard cream in Ireland and in the States have that stabilizer already incorporated, so if you live there you can probably just skip that. And even if you just be plain cream without any additives, you can still get a good texture. Just make sure to consume the product as soon as possible. First, let's line our cupcake pan with paper cupcake liners you can find in any major supermarket. If you can't get a hold of them, then just grease the pan well so that you can take the muffins out more easily after the baking. Then I'm adding the baking powder to the flour and I don't even care to sift them. I just put them aside for later use. I'm beating the butter until it's creamy and slightly pale. Then I'm adding the granulated and vanilla sugar, making sure that all are very well combined. I find the hooks do a very good job here. In general, it would be best to add in 1 egg at a time to guarantee a good mixture. But I couldn't wait for the kitchen air to get filled with that lovely perfume of cakes, so I just threw in both eggs at once. Well, at least I mixed them well into the butter. I'm adding half of my flour, mixing it well, then adding my milk as I keep on mixing before finally adding the rest of the flour and the cranberries. Now I'm filling the cupcake pan with batter. About 2 tablespoons for each paper liner should be good enough. Then off into the oven they go for 28 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius or 355 degrees Fahrenheit. A little and thin knife helps me get the muffins out of the pan. You know they are good when they're golden brown on top, and if you pierce them with the skewer and pull it out again, it will come out clean. Now that the base is made, let's head over to the frosting. Before you whip the cream, make sure your cream has cooled in the fridge for at least 2 hours. Also, you'll want to put the balloon whisks and the container you're beating the cream in into the freezer for about half an hour. If you don't have a freezer, then just cool them in the fridge for 2 hours too. First, I'm just lightly beating the whipped cream until it starts foaming up before I add in the caster and vanilla sugar. When the cream has almost completely stiffened, I'm adding the whipped cream stabilizer, continuing to beat it until it's fully stiff. If you'd like to add some food color to your cream, then now is the time to do so. Now to the piping. I'm cutting off the top of each muffin so that I can pipe on the frosting more easily. And also, I love to graze while I'm working in the kitchen, so this is another perfect excuse to do so. I'm piping the frosting from the edge of the cake into the center. Then I'm adding finishing touches with the macaron, some sugar sprinkles, and a caramel ornament. If you'd like to see how those are made, then have a quick peek at my macaron and caramel ornament videos. I hope you'll try out this recipe soon. I love to bring cupcakes to celebrations and potlucks rather than a whole cake because they're so easy to eat out of the hand. No need to worry about plates and silverware whatsoever. If you're proud of your recreation, then make sure to snap a picture of it and let me see it via Twitter or Instagram. If you have any tricks to share, feel free to post them down in the comments box below. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. I hope you'll check in next week again for another new recipe. Until then, bye!